It's the 420 radio show, and it's your host, Art the Ghost, blowing smoke. You already know, but check me out every Wednesday, you know? It's the ARTIKLEDAGHOST. It's the ARTIKLE, doing the most, the radio show. It's the ARTIKLEDAGHOST. It's the ARTIKLE, doing the most, the radio show. I talk that bud, show that love, you know what's up. I give it up, I blow that smoke, it ain't no joke. Article the Ghost. 420, blow that smoke, man, I do this every day. Stuff them cones, light it up, and then I blow that hay. You want that truth, I spit them facts. This is more than just rap. It get quiet in here, but I got that loud pack. This is one hot song, tell a DJ bring it back. Man, I'm trying to tell ya I'm a roller sack like that. Tune in every Wednesday for the inspiration, information, like, comment, and subscriptions. Algorithms, I'ma participate, but I'ma be in the clouds until a later day. Let's go. The ARTIKLEDAGHOST. It's the ARTIKLE, doing the most, the radio show host. It's the 420 radio show, and it's your host, Art the Ghost, doing the most. You already know. And we don't reach this news segment brought to you by Marijuana Moment and StillBeatingFactory.com, where you can go get you royalty-free sounds for some of your social media content that you're releasing. But let's get into this right now. This newsletter says Florida cannabis legalization has enough sigs for ballot. Military psychedelics bill in Congress. California Senate votes to shield marijuana use history in job apps. Colorado governor signs cannabis professional protections. Let's get into this. And here is the top things to know. The Florida Division of Elections says that a marijuana legalization campaign funded by TrueLeave has now collected more than enough valid signatures to put its initiative on the 2024 ballot. But the state attorney general is asking the Supreme Court to block voters from having a chance to decide on the measure. Colorado Governor Jared Polis signed a bill to bolster marijuana-related protections for working professionals by making sure they can't be denied certifications, registrations, or licenses based solely on cannabis activity that's now legal. The California Senate passed a bill to prohibit employers from asking job applications about prior marijuana use, building on cannabis-related workers' protections signed into law by Governor Gavin Newsom. Representative Dan Crenshaw and a bipartisan group of co-sponsors filed a bill to direct the Department of Defense to spend $75 million on grants supporting research on therapeutic potential of psychedelics for active duty military service members with PTSD or other conditions. Here's a look at how Missouri spends its legal marijuana revenue. Of the nearly $100 million taken in through the medical and recreational cannabis programs, funds have paid for expungements, processing, drug treatment, and supporting veterans. Okay, now we're moving on to federal. Senator Dan Sullivan spoke about the defeat of veterans' medical marijuana research he is supporting, saying anytime the issue of cannabis comes up, it's always a wild card. Representative Brad Winstrup said there very well may be good medical uses of marijuana and he would like to see more research done on it, but how medical cannabis has been legalized in some states so far. The Senate marijuana banking bill got one new co-sponsor for a total of 40. The House marijuana banking bill got 4 new co-sponsors for a total of 34. Okay, now we're moving on to states. New York Governor Kathy Hochul signed legislation to allow conditional adult use cultivators and processors to continue minimally processing and distributing marijuana products. Separately, regulators' settlement with a company whose lawsuit had prevented them from issuing cannabis dispensary licenses in parts of the state was approved by a federal judge. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy tweeted, "New Jersey's first recreational-only cannabis retailers are open for business. Earth and Ivy, New Brunswick, Nova Farms, Woodbury. This is a huge milestone for our growing cannabis industry." Separately, regulators revoked Harmony Foundation's marijuana cultivation and manufacturing licenses over unpaid fees, while approving cannabis licenses for other companies. Meanwhile, it was reported that a former attorney general represented Curaleaf in its successful effort to get regulators to reverse a decision denying a renewal of the company's license to sell recreational marijuana. An Illinois representative discussed the failure of legislation to regulate Delta-8 THC products. An Ohio representative said it's silly that the state's medical cannabis program prohibits smoking. A Minnesota representative who championed harm reduction measures enacted the session said that stigma and the criminalization, especially of serious drugs of opiates, kills people. The Washington State Liquor and Cannabis Board has a new director. Missouri regulators published micro-business application instructions and sample forms a few days ahead of deadline to do so. Rhode Island regulators launched an online medical cannabis registration system. The California Department of Industrial Relations issued a reminder that cannabis business must comply with labor law requirements. And that was your news segment for the 420 radio show, brought to you by Marijuana Moment and Steel Beating Productions LLC. I'm gonna drop both of these links down in the description so you can go check the website out, and you can also check out the article that I had just read so you can catch up on the rest of the article that I did not read. You know what I'm talking about? But anyway, let's get back into this music piece. If you like content like this, hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be alerted when I drop new episodes. You know what I'm talking about? But you know how we do. We're gonna get back into this smoking session, you feel me? 420, we out. Peace. Ghost. You know. Turn up! Okay, let's get it, let's go. You know what time it is. It's off the ghost. Stuff them cones. Stuff them cones. I'm stuffing cones.
Let's go. Yeah.
All day long. Cones.
Turn up.
Yeah. I'm stuffing cones.
Turn up.
All day long. Let's get these facts straight. Talking about smoking on paper planes, smoking on raw gone, stuffing cones all day. Couldn't even find a better way. Gotta get on my higher day. Time to roll up, stuff my cones, and I got to be on my way. Gorilla glue, what I pursue. Stuffing them cones is what I'm doing. Trying to get high, get by in life, and everything that I am doing. Oh, but you don't hear me though. Check it out how I rap the flow. This A-R-T-I-K-L-E-D-A. Ghost.
Let's go.